How's it going, everyone? I hope you're having a kick-ass... You hear that? That's the sound of my boiler warming up. And you know what's in there? Buccaneer Bobs Rum. Cheers. Yeah, like Marmite. Welcome Distiller everyone, I'm Jesse and this is the channel all about chasing the craft of home distillation and making it a legitimate hobby. So if that's what you're into guys, if you like to see recipes for things like rum and talk distilling, this might be the channel for you. If it is, hit the subscribe button down below and don't miss anything. Woo! So my still is finally charged with the first generation of Buccaneer Bobs Rum. I'm pumped guys, I've been looking forward to this for a long time. Rum's a bit of an unknown for me. I haven't drunk a lot of commercial rum and I've been really looking forward to learning about it by making it. So just to catch you up really quickly guys, a couple of videos ago I made the wash for this recipe. I'll stick a card up top for that. And to catch you up since then, I have made these sugar additions which would have got it up to a sort of theoretical 1095. It has since fermented out to about 1031, so that makes it a little over 8.5%, which isn't bad. Anyway guys, the boiler is on, but I have not got the still set up. I'm going to go get that done, and while I'm doing that, I'll voice over in post to tell you what the plan is for today. Today I want to talk a little bit about Dunder. That's coming up later on, because frankly it's a bit of a freaking mystery. Second of all, I want to start the second generation of Buccaneer Bobs wash, so that's going to happen at the end of the video. But in the meantime, the idea is I'm going to do, I'm not quite sure what to call this, but a little bit basically of a hybrid run. I'm going to collect a little bit of hearts at the beginning, perhaps 500 mils, just so I can have a cheeky taste of this product is, because I'm really curious and I want to know what it tastes like. But then I'm just going to crank it up and run it like a stripping run. Obviously, this is one of those recipes where you build things up over time and things get better. So collecting low wines now to add back into a run at a later date is not going to be a problem whatsoever. Like I said, guys, I'm just really curious. I'm really impatient, and I want to know what this stuff tastes like now, not after the next run. Anyway, I think we're just about ready. I really want to go over there and feel that still, because the sound of that still's changed, and I think we're getting ready for the first drips, which means I need to turn things down. That's getting really, really close, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill one of the elephants. I'm going to kill one of the elephants, and I'm going to turn the other elephant down a little bit. I mean elements. Alright, we got first drips. I'm going to give that a couple of minutes just to sort of settle in. As you can see, it's getting faster already. And then I think I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. This is right about where I want it. It is just a stream and sort of breaking every now and again. Anyway, it looks like the parrot is working, so let's go have a look. So I think what I'm going to do is run just a little bit more to sort of really get through the heads. It's starting to taste pretty smooth already, to be honest. I just had a cheeky little taste. Let's have another. So, this is difficult. I don't really have anything to compare to right now, but I am certain I can taste that yeast. And right now it's tasting like really fake banana and a little bit of clove. Yeah, it's definitely sweet, banana-y, tropically. Well, it's not sweet, actually. It's got the impression of sweetness. There's no sugar in it, obviously. But it's not unpleasant, and it definitely doesn't taste like 60-odd%, that's for sure. So anyway, I'm going to let maybe another 100 mils run off there, so that'll be about 500 in total, and I'm going to take maybe 250 mils for now. Just so I've got something to taste from this run, and then I'll keep all the rest as feints. I'll just turn it up, do a normal stripping run, and run them next time. What I'm actually going to do right now is, seeing as I've got the parrot going, I'm just going to switch over to a separate jar to collect, so I don't have the volume that's in the parrot as well mixing up and smearing into the hearts cut that I'm going to take. And then once I've taken that 250 mils, I'll just switch back to the parrot for the stripping run. Make sense? God, sure, I'm getting worse at describing this stuff for you guys. Anyway, let me go do that now. Well, that was awkward, but I managed to not spill anything except for a little bit I spilt into the sink, which is not too bad. I should really have a tray down here to collect anything that overflows, and that's my bad. I don't have it for this run. Mental note for next time. I'm actually going to turn the still down just a little bit for the next sort of 300 mils, 250, 300 mils, and then I'll crank it back up again for the stripping run. So that is going to take a little while. It's sort of on the go slow train right now. So what I want to do is talk about Dunder. Ooh, Dunder. Yeah, this topic is kind of crazy, and there seems to be a whole lot of different definitions for words, a whole lot of different ideas, and a whole lot of new distillers asking the same questions over and over again because it is so freaking hard to figure out what everything means. For the guys that have been doing this for a long time, you might think I'm crazy saying that. Just read the forums, use the search bar. But trust me guys, I can remember back before I even started distilling, I found this interesting, and I was trying to find this information, and it was tricky, because every definition of Dunder is made up of a bunch of other words that don't make any sense to you either. On the flip side of it, for the new guys out there, the guys that know this stuff kind of have a point. The information is there. You can find it. You do need to put the hard yards in yourself. Cool? So do some reading, do some searching. This is not the hobby for you if you want to just be able to do one search, get a definitive answer, and go away and do something the next day. It's going to take some legwork, okay? In saying that, let's see if we can't make it a little bit easier for you today. Okay, let's start at the beginning, I guess. So you take molasses, you water it down, you ferment it with yeast to get alcohol, you put it into a still, you distill it to sort of separate the alcohol and the water from each other, roughly speaking. What is left in the still when you're finished distilling is Dunder. Now, I know what you're saying. Didn't we talk about this stuff before when we made the UJ SSM? And didn't we call it backset? Yep, same stuff. Backset and Dunder, the same thing, depending on whether you're making rum or other stuff. Bourbon or American whiskey or whatever you want to call it, right? So how do you use the Dunder to make the rum taste better? Essentially, it's exactly the same as the UJ SSM. You take the generation before's Dunder and mix it in with the next generation to create a more tasty, more flavorful rum, and also to create a different environment for the yeast. But hold on guys, it's not actually that simple. There's also this idea of a Dunder pit or live Dunder. Live Dunder or a Dunder pit is when you take that Dunder, keep hold of it, and let other things grow in it. I don't want to get into this too much right now because honestly, I need to do some more research and we don't have time for it. But just know when people talk about Dunder, they might be talking about one of the two things. They might also talk about muck or muck holes, and that is definitely on the live side of things. Like I said, we will talk about that later on in another video, but essentially you can use that live Dunder in a couple of different ways. You can either add it into the boiler right before you start distillation, or you can add it into the fermenter after the primary fermentation is kicked off. Either way, you're essentially adding things into the mix that are going to turn into esters later on down the road and give you more complexity. Like I said, we're going to talk about live Dunder, Dunder pits, muck holes, all of that stuff another day. In any case, I've taken off what I want to take off for my hearts cut for this run. I'm going to crank this thing up and get it into stripping mode, and then we can look at making the next generation of Buccaneer Bobs Rum. If you want the full recipe for Buccaneer Bobs Rum, I'll put a link for the first video down below, but we are going to need some of that yeast cake, pop it in a pot and get ready to boil it. But before we do anything, I want to look after my healthy yeast. I want to get it out of the bucket so when I put hot liquid in there, I'm not screwing it up. So I'm mixing it up with some fresh water, and then I'm going to tip it over into this nice clean container so we can pitch it again later on. Turns out there was a bit more than I calculated, but that's fine. I got another container. I don't want to let this stuff go to waste. Now back over to our pot with our yeast. I'm going to add 2 lemons in this time because I am using a little bit of backset. Add about 2 litres of water because once again I'm going to be using backset, and start it simmering away. Make sure you stir it every now and again too so it doesn't stick. So the stripping run has come to an end. I got down to actually a little under 10%, which is more than I normally do. But anyway, now I can turn all the power off to the still, kill the water to the condenser, and I can grab some of that sweet, sweet backset out of the boiler to dissolve the molasses and add into the next generation. This time around I'm going a little conservative, I guess, for a first generation and using 20% backset of my total volume. So last time I bought a 5-litre tub or jar of molasses. I decided to take things a little more seriously this time. Oh! So the boiled yeast can go in now as well. In case you're wondering, guys, the boiled yeast is basically just acting as a yeast nutrient right now. A little bit of cannibalism never hurt anyone. Yeah, I need to find a better way of doing this because this is ridiculous. So I'm actually going to back off on the molasses a little bit compared to last time and go more in line, or split the difference between what I did last time, the original Buccaneer Bobs recipe. So I'm going for 4 litres of molasses this time. Like I said, I'm going to be here for a while. That actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. A little messy, but it didn't take too long. We now have everything we need in this bucket other than water and yeast. I can't put the yeast in there until I get it down below 30 degrees, definitely. I'm gonna aim for 25 this time. So all I want to do now is add in cold water and or warm water so that the volume that I'm aiming for and the temperature I'm aiming for arrive at the same time. So here we go. Remember too, team, that you want to get a fair bit of oxygen into this wash or wort before you pitch the oxygen. The yeasties will love you for it. So my IR thermometer says that I am right at 30 degrees now, so I'm going to add about another 3 litres of water to this. Essentially I'm aiming for about, I'm going to push it a little bit this time, I'm going to go for 26 litres total volume, but keep in mind I'm going to make a syrup with the sugar that goes in here later on, so I need to leave a couple of litres headspace for that. So I'm going to aim for about 25 this time. So I've got the volume I want, I've got the temperature I want, I've just checked the gravity and I am at 1065. So time to pitch my yeast. Now there is a fair bit of just crap on top of this, obviously. It is what it is, it's going in there too. The only thing left to do is bang that into the fermentation chamber to ferment away. I feel like I kind of accomplished something today. It was pretty awesome. Anyway, team, before I go, I need to thank the Patreons. Thank you so much, guys. Honestly, you are the ones that are making this possible for me and for everyone else. So a huge thank you to you. And I promise you I will be getting those thank you cards up and running for the next video that goes out. A reminder to the Patreons that haven't gone in and updated to the new reward tiers. Even if you're at the same pledge value or dollar value, you won't automatically get put onto the new reward tiers. It's silly. I'm sorry, I don't know why that's the way it works, but it does. So make sure you go and do that. To everyone else, thanks a bunch for hanging out with me. Thank you for watching the video. If you've got any questions about this rum or suggestions on what you think I should do with it in the future, make sure you stick some comments down below. But in any case, thanks a bunch for watching the video, guys. If you liked it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. That helps me out heaps. If you really liked it, make sure you subscribed. And I'll catch you guys next time. See ya!